Hey, Stav. So 2 years ago, I got dumped by my girlfriend because she found me on Grindr talking to boys.
Okay. She kind of had a point there.
And I was going to break up with her, but I was too much of a pussy to do that. So instead I, was cheating and sending nudes to other guys. But moving on from that, 2 years later, I can't stop. I can't finish like with a woman or a guy or a trans woman or like anybody unless I think about my ex-girlfriend.
What?
And I'm tired of it. Like this woman stabbed me. Like I don't want to think about her anymore.
What?
Like I have a no contact agreement with her, even though I'm the one that cheated. Mm-hmm. So,
interesting morality here.
Yeah, should I tell my therapist about this?
Oh my God.
Should I just like try to associate it with thoughts of like my naked grandma or something? Thanks, Stav. I'd really appreciate your help on figuring out how to stop needing to like think about her to finish. Thanks. Love you guys.
Well, that's a lot to unpack.
Oh, really a lot to unpack. From each sentence
from the
jump.
How did she find him on Grindr?
She probably had some suspicions, maybe.
Why did he not bring up that she stabbed him first?
Right.
That came in the middle.
Right.
Why wouldn't you be like, well, I was stabbed by my ex-girlfriend because she found me on Grindr. We have a no-speaking agreement.
I wonder if the stabbing is its own issue in his mind.
He is.
You know what I
the
mean?
stabbing evidently is the least of his issues.
Is no contact agreement just a fancy way of saying she has a restraining order against you?
I think it's sort of like, that's the thing. He says no contact agreement as if this is some widely accepted circumstance. He just means they don't text each other ever.
Right.
They've just blocked each other on everything.
Should I say this to a therapist?
I know, that was awesome.
You should have been in therapy years ago.
Yeah. Well, I get the therapist being like, we got a lot to cover. Because this guy,
He's like, I think I'm just going to go to Stav with this one.
Yeah, I can't even believe that he thought to go to Stavros publicly about this before privately with his therapist.
I think Stav and Guest can unpack this in 7 to 10 minutes.
Yeah. Stav, you have real power. You're very honorable, evidently.
Well, I also think probably what's going on here, this guy is too embarrassed to admit that a bust-related thing to his therapist. You know what I mean?
Well, that's like who you talk to your therapist for, isn't
right.
it? I mean, I thought that was like what?
I think you talk generally, but I think in terms of the minutia of coming, it's like it's one thing to talk about sexual hangups. It's another thing to be like, what makes me come is my act. But he could have said it differently, where he's like, I can only. What the fuck? Somebody calling me.
I guess it's because like I have a gay therapist.
Oh, interesting.
So I feel more comfortable talking about that kind of stuff. Though that's not like an issue.
You should be able to talk about anything to your therapist. That's the whole point.
The whole point. No, you're absolutely right. And that is something that's a general message for everyone here to take is if you have a therapist, it doesn't make sense not to fucking talk to them about whatever. You got to open up to them about anything. Obviously, you should talk to your therapist. I mean, that's so clear. I won't hazard. I think even though there's a lot to unpack, I think ultimately what was happening here is this guy was this is a truly pansexual person who was in a probably abusive relationship, and he definitely cheated, right? But maybe there was just a lot of wrong going on in that relationship. This is probably an insane woman, probably pretty good pussy if I had to guess. If I had stabbing plus staying in the relationship. Yeah, I do. Unfortunately,
he's on Grindr.
Yeah, I don't think it was so bad. I think this guy just fucks a lot. But I think stabbing and staying in a relationship.
Clearly, it was a not great relationship.
The relationship was good, but something was good. So I'm doing the math here, right?
I think he sounds like a masochist. I think he likes sort of that.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
So he needs to get to BDSM, like.
Maybe
stabbing is kind of real up there.
He can't come without thinking about his ex-girlfriend who stabbed him.
Oh,
baby, go get a dominatrix. And
that's
spank the shit out of you.
To me, it feels like residual guilt that he's not processed yet, and he's trying to mask it with a physical pleasure. But I think what's happening is that he probably feels guilt or some kind of shame for the failure of that relationship and his play in it. And so the revisitation of seeing her in order to come is more so him trying to cope subconsciously with the fact that he left something, didn't land the plane well. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely totally plausible that he still has some kind of hangups. We don't even know. It seems like he's pretty open about his sexuality. There might be some guilt there too. He seems like
he's open to us.
Open to us, but yeah,
maybe
like
not his friends.
That's what I'm saying.
Right,
like,
so he can be. If he's talking to you, I mean, his voice is pretty recognizable. I feel like it's like, come on, dude.
Well, I'm just kind of agreeing with you here, where it could be like
some
shame and guilt all wrapped in together, right? Like guilt from the relationship, shame. I mean, there is like oh no, even though I'm fucking this guy, I'm actually straight because the thing that makes me come is
he ancient Greek?
Yeah.
But also he says he can't come with another person. But is he coming from jerking the chicken?
Probably.
Jerking the chicken. What in the Dust Bowl era?
I'm not gonna say masturbate on here.
The things we've already said. The things we've already said.
That is a good. Yeah, is
so
he
annoying.
yoking the oxen? He probably is. I feel like you could bust easier, jerking yourself off than you can.
He's probably stroking his hard dick, since that's what Matteo wants me to say, while thinking about his ex-girlfriend's bomb pussy, apparently.